Hi, I'm Dr. Julie Brown, trained concussion doctor, board certified chiropractic neurologist. Today, I'm going to answer a question people ask. Do I have to do these exercises forever? How do I get my brain to remember these things? So after concussion or any event, and we're rehabbing the function of the brain and how things fire and get your autonomics working correctly, how do I keep it there? Well, the reality is you speak English or whatever language that you speak. You haven't forgotten it because you practice it. But even if you didn't, even if you went to a silent retreat for 3 weeks and you couldn't talk, you would still be able to speak because those neurons have really laid down the tracks. The proteins have laid down. They are very efficient at talking to each other. So yes, you may have a lot of exercises and they may change and adapt as you go, but you shouldn't forget it. The neurons should remember that plasticity and get more efficient at working together. If somebody is not holding on or able to, keep the benefits of doing these exercises, I question, do I need to change the exercises? And then I also look at from like a cellular mechanism. Is there something wrong with the mitochondria? Is there an infection? Is there something else, an inflammatory response? Is there something else going on that is affecting the nerves so that they can't wire together as efficiently? But in general, after a concussion, you shouldn't have to do the exercises to rehab as often as you do at the beginning. But you may get tired and things will start to show. I say go back to those last exercises, do them and see how you feel. If you don't do well, then you say, come in, let's reevaluate and see if there's any changes that need to happen. But your brain should remember what's happening. I always say, I picture little men like laying down railroads. I imagine I do an eye exercise, I do something with them. And the neurons that were involved in that, it's like a bunch of men come in a rush and they're like, let's lay down these tracks and make this more efficient. And that still happens even when you leave the office, unless there is something metabolic going on. So that's the answer. Do you still have to, how's my brain going to remember? Time, intensity, frequency. That's how that's going to remember. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the boxes below and we'll talk to you later.